Hello everyone, welcome back to the Great Tree here in Planet Coaster. I hope you're all well, I hope you've had a pleasant break and Christmas and all that funky good stuff, New Year, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, let's follow on from where we are. Many guests need the toilet. Oh crikey, that's going to get messy. So what we're going to do then is look for the main ingress and egress of people, which I would say is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go facilities. We're not going to tart it up at all. We just want it functional. Like that. Boom. And there we go. So essentially, there we go. So they've got that all there ready to go. We'll move these along a little bit like that. And then what we'll do is we'll put some bins down there as well, because we don't want to encourage any littering in the area of the toilets. So that's a good thing. Right. So if we have a look at financially, average staff happiness not too bad. The litter's disgusting, 23%. Okay, so what we really need to do is have a look at on our finances, our staff, I think. Let's have a look. So this is something that's coming from the recent patch, so you can see here it's a little bit more easier to handle. We're going to upgrade him, and we're going to give him 175. Like that, give him a pay rise, because he's got a pretty high workload. So it means he'll work more efficiently as well. And let's see. You've got this guy here. So he's essentially free roaming. And what I think we also need to do is, if we get one of those guys, if we go to the roster and just say, call it main thoroughfare. That's not how you spell it, I know. And then sort of cover that. There we go. And save it. And then what we'll do is we'll go to our all staff. We'll find someone who's close by. There we go. And we will set him to being main thoroughfare. And we will also upgrade him and put him up to 150. We'll also upgrade him, put him up to 325. And upgrade him to 200. And upgrade 175. Upgrade 175. It will make a dent in our finances really, but to be honest, we can afford it. 150. There we go. So we've got this wooden roller coaster here, the old train coaster. Let's go and have a quick ride on that, shall we? So as you can see, it's now got multiple units that can ride on the same track, which is helpful for us. So with up to three carriages all running at the same time. So you've got one sort of here, one just about shooting off now, and another one at the station. So that'll get stopped there once that's loaded up. So essentially they should be generating, yeah, they are generating $3,000 a month in good money. So I'm happy with that. Now what we need to do is we'll put down some thrones opposite so they've got somewhere to sit, and we'll do some tarting up of scenery with some nice bushwork, I think, because who doesn't enjoy a good bit of bushwork? Now that's a bit too big, I think. That's also a mighty big bush, so we'll put that there. Now I think we also need to check out or get some more bushes, because I'm not very happy with these ones. These ones are by far and away way too big, just too large. So, I think under the circumstances, if we go to our research, you can see fast water, information kiosk, and typical park scenery we're already researching, and money is actually flowing pretty well. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. As far as we can tell, everything is good. I mean, this is the only thing that we've got is this jam of people here. I think what we'll have to do is move this up there, so at least it moves them along a little bit. Yeah. So, a good money maker is that one. So we're happy with that. And then we've got things like this, which no one is riding, or hardly anyone is riding. I guess what we need to do is we need to build another roller coaster. So like the high seas or something. I know it's a wooden one, it's not ideal. But then we've kind of got something over there. I would really like to be able to get different coasters. And we're currently researching everything we can at the moment. Let's put that up to 3,000. 3. There we go. And put this up to 500. And put this up to 1,500. So that shall reduce this time it would take to do that. 5 days, 5 days, 35 days. At like 3,000 a month. Yeah, that's quite a long time for it to be sucking away all that money. But hey ho, never mind. Not the end of the world. So right now you can see that traffic is good here, or it's too much if anything. So we should really consider maybe running the path sort of through here. Or at least running the path from over here. Somewhere so it doesn't jam up the main causeway, which is what it's doing at the moment. Which is a tad unfortunate. But what I think we need to do is I think we need to go into the terrain flattener. And flatten all this out. Like that, because I want to be able to put shops there. And stuffs. So, because what I want to do is I want to take this one, that's fantastic. Move this guy here. So we'll move him over to this edge. And then we'll take Mr. Chief Beef as well. And we'll move him over to there like that. Now, what we'll then do is we'll just snip off that bit of pathway there. So that should hopefully sort of force the people to sort of come around this way a bit more. Like that. And we'll put some thrones opposite so they've got somewhere to sit. And hopefully that will drive the movement through this section here. And down. So here we go. Information kiosk. That's good. That's handy to have. And that's something that we're going to need to put sort of at the start here. So if we put in shops and facilities, information. There we go. So there's the information kiosk, which is where they'll buy their priority passes. But at the moment we don't really... Well, no, tell a lie. We actually do have one thing that does priority passing. We don't really have anything else at the moment, so it's not really the end of the world as far as we're concerned. Now, it could be that we sort of flatten all this out a little bit here, and then we could put a priority path there to a priority path there. But the problem is nobody's riding this ride at the moment. And that's the issue that we have. At least there's not many people riding it. So, I have to wait and see on that one. We've still got a lovely thingy there. And Plenty of people going to Looney Balloons, which is good. And here you can see more people being driven up this way. Now what I think I'm going to have to do is... No, is that good? Yeah, that'll do. Flatten this out. Like so. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I want to put a pathway on here that will connect these two areas together. And that will then enable us to bring a pathway down here and basically get foot traffic down in this area. So let us take a path. Oh god, that's way too big. Like that. Like that. Right, so it's not in, or too much there. So if we go to our flatten to foundation there, and just flatten that out a little bit, and go back to our pathway, like so. And there you go. So we've now got a route here. We'll turn that black as well. We've now got a route between these areas here. And what we'll also do is we'll take this out here, because what I would like to be able to do is put that in there like that. So we've got plenty of thoroughfares between the various areas, and we can keep it at least relatively sort of flowing quite well, I think is the operative term. So many guests need the toilet, we've done all that. Okay, that's good. And we've already reached monthly profit, so we've got to get the scenery rating up to 110. So that means then we're going to be waiting for the... Oh, here we go. There we go. Typical park scenery. And let's go back into research. Let's go into... Let's have a look. Sci-fi scenery. Coaster. Pirate theme. Art shapes. Typical park flora. Grassland flora. Alpine flora. Let's go for grassland. And let's go for typical park flora. So, and we're going to put them up because we want them essentially to research as fast as possible, because we want to tart everything up with some better bushes than the ones that currently exist. So there's a a cosmic cow milkshake there, and then the Looney Balloons. Now one thing we do need is more bins. So I'll put some bins here, or trash cans as the Americans would so delightfully name them. And this thing here is doing a roaring trade. I mean, look at that, $3 a month. And it's a nice, relatively windy ride. Obviously, it's not windy right now, because they're waiting for people to get on. There's all the people, and they're wearing hats as well. Obviously, they won't be carrying balloons on here, which can only be a good thing, really. I mean, you know, you're flying around the Earth, and then all of a sudden your balloon goes pop because the pressure changes inside the balloon or outside the balloon. It's just a nightmare scenario, really, for the kids, and you don't have to explain it to the parent or to the parents. Yeah, well, you know, you were stupid enough to let your kid take a balloon onto a ride, and then it popped. So, you know, who's at fault here? The kid or the parent? I think it's the parent under the circumstances. And then you want me to do something about it because the balloon's popped. What do you expect? A Kevlar balloon? No, it's not going to happen. Woohoo! So it's a nice little ride, this. With a double riser, so to speak. Takes them up to another level. And then halts them at the top while it waits for this one to clear. Some nice hang time. There we go. Nice little lock at the top. And then down on the curve we go. Look at that. A nice over and about. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. So that's essentially the roller coaster. So ideally, we would want to... See, look, we've got the train and we've got the monster wooden roller coaster. I'd like to get some hyper coasters. Or at least something in there that's a little bit sort of loopy type stuff. That would be advantageous as far as we're concerned. And also it means that we can push it down to here and build a coaster here and start to push foot traffic in this general direction, which means we can put loads of shops and everything and things like that nature. Because from what I found from experience in playing this game is that you put a coaster sort of down here, it attracts people, and you can then also build all the shops, and the shops help attract people in that direction as well. So you can see now that more people are using this. There are more people queuing on that ride, which can only be a good thing in my opinion. And the one thing I am seeing though is a lack of bins here. So we'll have a bin there, and a bin there, and we'll have some binnage here. Can't put one on the edge there, can we? No. Have to put it there. Put it on the edge here. So let's have a look. Oh, look at that! The first goal, the first bronze star, fantastic. So let's have a look at that. There we go. Monthly summary, park change rating. There we go, 110. So now what we've got to do is we've got to get a senior rating of 150, and we've got to build a coaster with at least all that excitement and 5 seconds of air time. So at most 5 nausea. That's going to be tricky. That's going to be relatively easy, but it's the keeping the nausea level down that's going to be hard. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the way of scenery now, bush-wise. See, we still don't have any good bushes right now, and that upsets me. Because, I mean, look at that. I mean, that is just a beautiful tree anyway. But let's just plonk him there. Nice oak tree. I want those smaller bushes that enable me to sort of plant them here without causing too many problems. So that's one I'm going to be looking at. So I think after they get past this bit here, that's when the second one goes. And here's the other one coming in, and he gets stopped here. There we go. See, look, just as he's starting to cross that point, he gets held there and then gets taken into the point once he's gone over that point. So it's working, I would say, as a relatively well-oiled machine. Definitely something to consider when building my own coaster later on. So, now, if we have a look, see, there's a queue, it's alright, but there's not a lot of demand driving it. I think what we might need to do is, because there's more foot traffic this way than there is there, we're going to have to redesign this a little bit. So first things first, let's stop it. And what we'll do is we'll go onto our pathing, onto our entrance paths, and take this out. Now, it does mean that what we're going to have to do is drag it over here like this. There we go. And then open it. So essentially what should happen now is that at least they sort of queue in from here and then go on it, which may be a better option under the circumstances. There you go. See, so because there's reasonable foot traffic going back and forth, it should be good. Reveal project, good. Let's see what we've got. Right, grassland, region, and typical park and flora and fauna. Okay, so bushes. Look at this. There's our babies. That's the ones we're after. So the old faithful, so to speak. So we'll put some of these in here and start improving the general appearance of these queues. I mean, it's only £1.50 a bush. I mean, you can go to Soho and get a bush for a lot more than that, but, you know, different kind of bush, I guess. the level of satisfaction you get from a Soho bush is somewhat significantly different from that from one of these decorative bushes. But we'll see. So, just tarting it up here. And it just does mean we spend a little bit of time doing this, and it'll improve the general look and feel of the entire ride. But also it means that people will be more inclined to go on it. They'll be happier to queue up because it won't look so bloody frightful. And they'll be more inclined to queue up as well. So really it's just, you know, a win-win scenario for us. And we've got... we don't have the big bush in yet. No, not yet. So we might be using this bush quite a bit. There we go. And drop past here. And finally plonk in the end. There we go. So there we go. That's looking lovely. Now, let's have a look. Little bushes like this we do like. Stick just in the corner there. Another one here. I'm going to put the old course, the old faithful conifers in there as well. And then we'll take this guy. No, we don't want to put it there. Let's put it there. There we go. And then we'll put the conifers in there. So, there we go. That's the place looking a lot better there. And we've got some purple bushes and nice little... well, they're very nice little viola flowers. They're lovely, aren't they? So if we go to park management and we do start research, alpine flora, tropical flora. So I think we're going to go for alpine flora. Fast water, what's that? Oh! Rolling river track ride. That could be interesting. So let's go on and hit... oh, electrically powered. Oh, that sounds really good fun. And let's have a look through a ride. There we go. So we'll leave those to research. And you can see money stayed pretty much consistent as far as we're concerned. I mean, it sort of hovered around the 11,000 sort of point. So as far as we're regarding that as a good thing, I think. So let's just tart this up a bit, as this is one of the new locations that we just want to make look nice. So there's not really much to say really when you're doing all this kind of thing. It's just, you know, you want to make it more presentable. You give them, you know, a nice smelling bush to add to the general pleasantries around your park, and therefore making people more likely to queue up for longer because the queue doesn't look so damn hateful. And so, you know, this is why having these particular bushes, and I'm also after the other bit sort of green bush that's about sort of double the size of these things. That's a very, very helpful bush, and you use it to fill out a lot of this green space generally. So, put another one in over here, and then we'll put some around the back here, because even though they're sitting on the throne, they still want to, you know, have it smell nice when they're there. See, so that's looking good. We just drop it round so it's sort of got the flat side of the bush facing towards the punters, because we don't want them to really sort of get in the way of their moving around the park, because otherwise it's just going to cause no end of problems. There we go, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? So let's have a look here, and let's have a look at this, and it's only at 52%, so it's certainly better. And let's see, let's put in some like this, put in some more bushes here, and we'll put the conifers up the center because they're always a good place to put. There we go, see, and there's still that sort of area there, so that's not too shabby, I'd say. I don't know why they're ducking when I'm putting conifers in, but, you know, whatever. So, Let's see. Now this place needs a little bit of tender loving care. So let's see. So that's a big, large green bush there. We can put some of this in here. But we're putting it in sort of relatively open areas so it doesn't impact on the movement of the customers and the ride itself as well. There we go. So they're going to sit down there. You see? So we are just trying to keep things looking relatively nice here. And then we'll put one of these in here. An additional one. And the conifer right smack bang in the middle. And a few of those sweet smelling plants next to the bins. Like this. And these are only $3. I mean, look at it. The money's still going up as well. So, I mean, as far as we're concerned, we don't really have any complaint with respect to this location. Put some more of these in. And then fill up the back end here with conifers. A little space in there so that the light can get out. There we go. And put some of the old classic floral bushes here. There we go. And then we'll stick some more of the conifers in here. And we can, this is what I like about the conifers, is you can use them to fill up this space in the middle where you can't really put anything. You can't put a large bush, you're just after a little sort of thing like this, you see. And this is good because this is a new one that we can put in. But the problem is look at that. The bastards are floating. So we're going to have to drop it down somewhat, like so. Because we can't have them floating, that's just not permitted. There we go. Go. That's good. It's weird that you've got to move the camera somewhat just to be able to see them properly, or at least highlight them properly, you know. Let's just move this one over to here because it's clearly a duplicate. Okay, let's cancel that then. Let's move it this way over here. Like that. And down. There we go. And this one as well. And this one as well. There we go. So a little bit more sprucing up, so to speak. Stick another one in here, I think. With one of these here next to it. Sort of flesh it out. Not flesh it out, but, you know, kind of pan it out a little bit. Provide a little bit more extra. And there you go, 100%. Beautiful. Just what we needed. So that horrible thing can go, so can that. And let's have a look at this one. It's the thing, it's 74%. So we don't have to do too much on this one. In that regard, we're quite lucky, because it's already quite high. No doubt as a result of the other stuff that's around it. So what happens is that, you know, the general sort of atmosphere and everything that's going on around it gets caught up as part of the scene interest and all the rest of it. So, you know, we are kind of we sort of lucked out a little bit because of its placement in that regard. So let's just get this back to there. There we go. And, you know, we're just going to continue plonking that in. Whoops, a daisy. We might have got away with that one. Yeah, placement's alright. but it's probably going to bug me a little bit now. So let's see, just bring all these along here like so, and continue with the fine floral bush, and bring it along here as much as we can. And then I think what it needs then is a nice tree, sort of there somewhere, but we don't want something that big. Can we go for a big fir like that? That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Got one there, there, and then one there. And then we'll have one here, here, one here, like 3 soldiers standing to attention as you make your way past. So that's quite nice, I like that. And we've got any small... Oh my goodness, that's a big ash tree. I was hoping for a little like a rhododendron bush or something along those lines, but we're not going to get anything like that under those circumstances. So let's go back to our favourite floral bush and just fill that out there. So how are they looking now? There you go, 100% beautiful. We just need to fill this bit in here and put some other bits and bobs down the centre just to sort of keep it all looking as good as possible. Plus, when you look at the monetary situation, see, we're still making money hand over fist really at the moment. So there's no reason why we shouldn't make the queue as good as we possibly can, rather, you know, than settling for second or third best. So there you go. Nice little area. Put that in there just to stop up that gap. Yeah, I think we're pretty good with that. Now let's have a look here. Research projects to be revealed. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure I clicked on that, and that's the second time that's happened. Oh, so it must have been notifications from last time. Okay, well that's not the end of the world really. But what we will do is we'll change that to 3,000 because we want that to happen quickly. We'll put that to 1,500, and then we'll put this one to 750 so that the research can complete quickly. And then we'll speed it up. So you can see the queue to this spot here is not particularly great, but at least it's now getting more numbers into it. And this is remaining consistently long and active. So that's going quite well. Let's put it back to normal speed. Oh, for God's sake. Right, here we go. Alpine flora. Hurrah. Let's see what scenery options that gives us, especially we can use it to discover the bushes. See, green bush large. See, these are the kind of bushes that we like here. See, this one here. And of course that red, not that red bush, but there's a big sort of puffy red bush that is quite nice, I have to say. So, that's how it stands right now. And you can see that we are progressing slowly. So we've got to get to 117, we're at 130. And we've still got to build that coaster. But that is dependent upon our research going on here. So let's just speed that up. So that research there is going to be kind of key because it's going to be electrically powered. And let's have a look at that. See, I mean, the profit is relatively good. See, profit has remained consistent across the board. Let's pay off that loan. And then we don't have to worry about loan payments anymore. Which is one thing. Is this the Rebel? It is. In fact, what we'll do is we'll call it the Rebel Yell. So they're not happy about the fact that they've got to queue up for so long. And I'm not happy about the lack of light there. So what we'll do is we'll go to scenery. We'll go to lighting. And we don't really have those oval overlights. And that does not make me a happy bunny. Because I want to be able to have the lights that I will sort of, you know, put on here. And I don't really want to use these ones because they're a bit too garish for what we're looking for here. Especially if we're eco-friendly, and when we're burning gas, I doubt that's really regarded as eco-friendly. No, I could be wrong. I don't know. I am by no means an expert on all things eco-friendly. Now, let's see, there's that one there. And then what I think we might do is we might put this pizza pen opposite it, like that. And then just give that a little bit of a cue. There we go. So they can go and get a nice slice of pizza from there. Probably be overcharged and it'd be lukewarm, but you know, like having pizza at a LAN. I tell a lie. Normally when you go to the iSeries LAN, one thing that's quite good is they actually order pizza in. So you can order pizza and have it delivered to you. Magic Ride, okay. Oh, that looks quite good fun. So, classic cars. Let's research that. Think big. And let's go for Planet Coaster scenery. So I think that's where we're going to end this episode for today. I hope you boys and girls have enjoyed yourself. And seeing a general improvement of the park as we go. So we'll just close all of those notifications. I think it's going reasonably alright. Obviously we've got to build that second coaster over here. But what I want to do, the thing is that when I'm looking at the coasters options, you see, these are the only ones, wooden, train, see, all, there we go. I just don't have that as many options as I would like in there. And that's the problem. So these are something to bear in mind, but we could put a water ride in. That certainly would be nice. And the question is if we were to put it in, where would we put it? So it could be that I mean, look at that road coming around the side here. It could be that we'll put a water ride in here that maybe goes underneath. So people can walk over the top and look down on you while you're wandering around in a big inner tube. So anyway, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Planet Coaster. We'll see you next time.